These are absolutely the top 10 things you need to know before you buy. Hey there, happy home buyer. I'm John Ruckman with eXp, and these are the top 10 things you need to know before you buy a house. And stay tuned because number 8 is an absolute doozy and you don't want to miss that. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below and the notification bell to get all of these great videos and more. Okay. So number 1 is you want to ask, why is the seller deciding to sell? Knowing that the homeowner wants to sell, since it will significantly inform your decision, because if they're selling to take another job in another city, they're hoping they can sell quickly, then you will likely get a lower asking price. If they're selling because there's an issue with the house, you may be able to get a better deal or pass and avoid buying a lemon. And if they're selling for a location reason, maybe the school district's gotten worse, crime stats are up, or the house is in a floodplain. You can factor those variables into the decision as well. Okay, number 2, how long has the house been on the market? Has it been on the market 2 days? Has it been on the market 102 days, 202 days? The amount of time the house has been on the market might indicate that the price is too high, or the sign of the property has a major issue. The answer to this question can help a prospective home buyer, you, determine whether or not you want to buy it, or if the seller is desperate and will likely accept a lower offer, which is good news for you. Okay, number 3, what's included in the purchase when you're buying your new home? I mean, this is crucial, absolutely imperative that you know what comes with the house. So for instance, the standard for most attached stuff comes with the house, but cabinets and faucets, that sort of thing. However, appliances may not come with the house, like refrigerators, ovens, washers and dryers, and backyard fixtures. So you want to know what to expect if you decide to make the purchase. If you're using a real estate agent, you want to make sure that you have an exclusions addendum. This will define everything that stays, and if it's not on the list or your realtor misses it, then it will most likely go and you will question it later. For example, I had a home sale where it was a removable mantle, one of those fireplaces that was supposed to stay, and then it disappeared, and during the walkthrough we discovered it was gone, but it was included on the inclusions. And if this is what is supposed to come with the house, by all means don't sign the closing, or at least have the title company hold money in escrow for an equal value replacement. Don't trust the handshake, and don't trust the word of the seller. Most likely it will not happen. Take my advice on that one. Okay, number 4. Has the house had any major renovations or additions? Very common this day and age. You want to make sure that the additions and renovations had the proper permits pulled, and that it's up to code before making an offer to avoid any big surprises. So when the home inspector does their walkthrough, or if your lender conducts an appraisal, you want to make sure you have the information about the renovations and the additions that the seller has made, and whether or not they got the correct approval and the permits. This is vital because it'll let you know if it's a temporary DIY fix or it was completed by a professional and likely to last. You don't want to make sure somebody's uncle with a hammer did it. Number 5, how old is the roof? Is the most expensive part of the house, and it's a common deal breaker during a home sale. An old roof, anything over 20 years, may be due for costly repair sooner than later, and depending on the level of care. So even a well-insulated, well-maintained roof can last up to 30 years or longer, while a poorly installed, poorly maintained roof may be replaced in as little as 10 years. Look at the roof carefully for signs of wear or damage, and missing roof tiles, saggings, or leak. Keep an eye on issues listed in the home inspection. Okay, number 6. How old are the appliances and major systems like the air conditioning and heating? All of these have finite lifespans, and it's important to know how to gauge how much longer they'll work before they need a replacement. Ask to see any warranties if the seller has them. Most appliances, ovens, refrigerators, washers and dryers, and systems like HVAC, furnace and water heaters can last 10 to 15 years if they're well maintained. So the house appliances are at a higher risk of failing soon. You may be able to negotiate a better deal or have the seller cover some of the costs to make up for the price in repairs or replacement. Okay, number 7, how much are your monthly fees and how much do they cost when you're getting an estimate of your mortgage payment? It never shows it. It never shows your property taxes, property insurance, or your HOA. These fees can be substantially greater than your mortgage payment. For example, your mortgage payment is $1,500 based on an estimate you got on the internet. It does not include your taxes, HOA, or your homeowner's insurance. So if the total of these were $6,000 a year, then you know over a year that's $500 more a month in your mortgage payment. Okay, number 7 really was the big doozy that was coming up. You want to make sure that you add your property tax, your HOA, and your property insurance. You should also include like your power bill, and if your house runs on extra fuel like propane, you want to take that all into consideration and calculate those bills with your mortgage payment. That way you're not stretched. All right, number 8, is the area prone to natural disasters? This is a big one. Most states have a flood disclosure law that determines how much information the seller must give you about the likelihood of flooding. There are some places that have like a 100-year floodplain and it doesn't happen, but you don't want it to happen while you're there. Some places that have earthquakes, and there are some places that have tornadoes or prone to tornadoes and other natural disasters. Usually your homeowner's insurance is the first clue. They might be more expensive than you were anticipating, and they'll let you know, but it's usually not until you're about 3/4 of the way through the purchase of your house. So you want to make sure you definitely check this out. In fact, ask your realtor to check it out before making the offer if the house is in a high flood or high tornado zone. So that way you want to make sure that you can take that in consideration when buying your house. And all too often I see these massive waterfront properties that are beautiful and really nice, but these homes come with some of the highest flood insurance rates in the country. Number 9, are there any safety hazards? Usually older homes have safety hazards like lead paint, radon, and mold problems. But even some of the newer houses, if they sit vacant too long with no moving air, can have mold issues as well. If a house has been vacant longer than 3 years, it's usually considered abandoned. Also, don't let condensation, pollen, and cutting grass during the summer confuse that with mold in the basement. It can be mistaken when really it isn't. But these things can affect your asking price, so ask about those problems up front to get a better deal and determine whether you should move on or you should buy. And finally, number 10, does your house have a history of insurance claims? Past insurance claims, believe it or not, can tell you a lot about a house. For instance, if it's been damaged by weather, whether it's been broken into a lot, if the basement floods every time it rains, whether the basement gets wet, and if the house gets broken to a bunch, that's going to raise your insurance. You want to know these things up front, so request a copy of the Comprehensive Loss Underwriter Exchange Clue to see for any past insurance activities from the past 7 years, and ask the seller agent about the past insurance claims. And this is a big one because most agents don't do this, so you want to make sure you're a knowledgeable buyer and make sure you know what's going on before you buy your house. Well, if you've tuned in this long, I really appreciate you checking out the video. Again, my name's John Ruckman with eXp Realty, and if you have any questions about houses in Harford County or anywhere else in Maryland, you can always book a one-on-one free consultation to see what's going on, because I, if you can believe it or not, love talking about real estate. So when you love what you do, it comes easy. I'll catch you.